whole idea of the schedule for the conference was to look at the 7 grandfather teachings. Our voices count. Being youth are given a voice, and they need to use that voice to be able to speak up for themselves and, decide what their futures are going to be.
I want to speak out to people. I want to be a social worker. And the speakers so far, especially Earl, kind of inspired me to continue my dream. And he's just a really positive, colorful person. I don't know, just the way he speaks and looks you in the eye, you feel good and you feel like he actually cares about you and is looking up to you because he knows you're going to go somewhere.
We all have a voice that we all want to speak, and nobody can hold us back from speaking that voice. I never knew how to speak, and so I stifled and I kept my mouth shut. And if it wasn't for that guitar and learning how to sing, I wouldn't have known how to express my emotions. But that was the way I started to speak my voice and speak my truth. I started to deal with the grief of my father being murdered. I started to be able to deal with the pain and the anger that was inside by singing about it. And it gave me a voice. And each of you have a talent and a gift to be able to speak your voice, and you have the right to speak your voice no matter how old you are, no matter where you've come from, no matter the mistakes that you've made in your life. This was one of the most dynamic events that I've attended in terms of the different presenters and the people who attended. The youth were very attentive, very respectful, and they were very hungry and eager to learn a lot of the things that we were sharing with them.
Our school usually announces every Native cultural event, so a lot of us like to get involved with our culture because some of us weren't exactly brought up in with it. So now as youth, it's our opportunity to get involved with our culture, and it's our responsibility to make sure it stays alive.
We're in an urban community, and I want to introduce the history pre-contact, before Europeans came, what kind of life was like for Aboriginal people, what we held as value to our families. We're very family oriented. We had a very intact culture.
All the stuff that we see, feel, and hear today, that is not who we are as Aboriginal people. Who we are proud, powerful nations of people that live with strength, honor, pride, integrity, love, caring, and compassion. Those beautiful traditions that we all carry, those are the values that our ancestors said, this is what I want you to live with.
Well, I think these events are so vital because they bring together community once again, especially in our urban centers and even on our reserves. This type of community building isn't happening enough.
There's a lot of unity here. A lot of us came together as one, and it's really nice to know that there's help if you need it, services, and if you want to talk to someone, there is someone to talk to you. It is an amazing feeling as soon as you get in the room with our people, and you just, like I said, you feel that unity, and it's just extremely, it's emotional.
When you look at the feather, you'll see how it goes up to the top where it is thinned out. That's the place of returning back up to Creator.
I invited Ann Claus to come in. She offered to do a feather teaching, and basically it's similar to the program Colors. Depending on what color feather you choose, tells a lot about who you are as a person, what your gifts are, what kind of traits you have. Creator gave us gifts. We need to be using our gifts, and that's how we will succeed in life.
Some of us are storytellers, some of us are mathematicians, some of us are in science, engineering, everything. We all have the skills that we've had for thousands of years, and they're coming back, and it's just a matter of us learning and remembering how to use those again.
We had a hypnotist here. We had a little bit of magic coming from myself, and the realness. is that everybody here came from this. They weren't here to preach. They weren't here to talk from a textbook. They were here to talk about their experience, their strength, and their hope, and the struggles that they've encountered in their journeys, but not only the struggles, but how they've overcome the obstacles that are right in front of them.
I also had a youth panel, what happened to them? You know, what abuses they suffered, what, you know, things that they had done, whether it was drugs or alcohol or whatever, but how it affected them. But at the same time, recognizing that and how they want to improve their future.
I kind of stopped going to school. I got into drugs, hanging out with the wrong people and stuff like that. And my mom and dad, they really realized like what was happening with me, and you know, they wanted me to better myself and to just not be in that situation no more. So I ended up leaving Waterdown, and I came to Hamilton and went to the Indian Center, to the Ceeit program. And my life changed for the better. Today I really liked it because we got to learn more about our culture. It's important to know like who you are, where you come from, and there was a lot of good food.
We fed them well. The idea too that, you know, healthy snacks, and they can come in. They were able to eat Indian tacos for lunch, and we're having corn soup, ham and scone for dinner. We have evening entertainment as well, Imaginative, that will be present, and they'll be showing a video, a 1-hour video about other Aboriginal youth who will actually have taken little, you know, 5-10 minute little videos they put together, and they compiled all together to show. And we had a speaker's corner, which was set up so that the youth had an opportunity to go in a box and basically look at a webcam and be able to speak to any issue that they wanted, how they felt about the conference.
These events are important because it just helps a lot with the youth on their culture and teachings.
The idea that all of us are equal and need a voice is really, really important, and not many places in education do kids have a chance to voice their issues, their concerns, where they feel they need to learn. And so opportunities like this where they get to share that is really critical.
I just really enjoy coming to things like these because I feel connected and I meet new people, and it's like your community. You don't even know these people, but they're welcoming and warm, and I get inspired and I get the feeling to continue what I'm doing because I know I can do it because of people here.
It was very empowering, very inspiring, very motivating for these youth, and it's going to lead them toward making better decisions in the future. And I think ultimately, in the end, it's about education and knowing the value of education, that knowledge is power, and that when they achieve their education, they feel more confident about who they are. It boosts their self-esteem, and the more they go out there and they take risks in life, the more they're going to boost their confidence.
I had Earl Lambert come in to speak about education. You know, education is power, knowledge is power. Because a lot of our kids are high dropout rate. So I want to have these kids stay in school because right now the young Aboriginal people under the age of 25 is the highest growing group of people in Canada.
Education is something that nobody can ever take away from you, no matter who you are. No matter where you are. Nobody can ever take education from you. You always have it, and the more you give it and you share it with other people, the more powerful it becomes inside of you.
Knowledge is power, and then substance abuse, looking at that.
That alcohol, those drugs start to gain control over you. For me, it started off with weed, I moved to LSD, then I went to snorting cocaine by the time I was 16, then by the time I was 18, it turned into crack cocaine. So you can see how I started to climb from use to abuse to dependency because I needed a little bit more than just weed. Then I needed a little bit more than just acid. Then I needed a little bit more than just coke, snorting it. Then I needed crack. I needed that rush, that bigger rush, bigger rush, bigger rush. You got to keep it real in life. Today I can face anything sober and clean. You have the facade, you have the energy to live out your dreams, to achieve what you guys want to achieve.
You can succeed, and that no matter how many people can tell you can't do this because you're Native, because you're probably the 49% that won't graduate from high school, and definitely showed you that you can do this, that you can be successful, and you have the opportunity, and it's only in your hands.
I hustled and I finished high school, and now what I do is I travel all over the place and I do spoken word. Don't you see the beauty in me? Callous, hard, stretched marks, I am beaten, and I am broken, and I am bruised, but I am beautiful, my brothers, I am beautiful.
So now this is kind of like, you know, the beginning. I was very pleased with the attendance because at first I only had 15 people register, but when we did the count, we had probably about 60 people, youth that came in for this. So for our first conference, it went very well. I'm hoping overall that when the youth leave here or have left, that they'll walk away with more knowledge than what they had. Now they can relate to other stories, and maybe in the sense that they will take more ownership of their lives, what they want to do in the future, and to speak up for themselves.